questions? So yeah, we're going to just go through the
Thank you.
Is it?
Are you ready? Good evening and welcome to the Webster Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for March 8, 2022. This evening we have one item on the agenda, 583 Webster Road addition. One administrative matter, we got some meeting minutes to approve, and then one report out of a previous request on a sign for Bunsies over in East Webster, West Webster. I got my directions. We are one board member short this evening. We will call roll.
Mr. Newtown?
Here.
Mr. Barone?
Here.
Mrs. Bolo? Here. Mr. Hauser?
Here.
Mr. DeMarco?
Here.
And Mr. Artuso?
Here. Before we see the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm assuming one of you are the applicant, or a few of you are the applicants this evening? Yes. You do have the right to be heard in front of the full board, or one board member short this evening, but would still be required to get 3 yes votes if we proceed with 4 board members. Would you like to proceed, or you have the ability to table to the next meeting?
Proceed.
Okay. Excellent. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If the applicant could, for 583, could step up to the podium. We'll read your matter into the record.
583 Webster Road addition, located at 583 Webster Road, applicant Christopher Fertitta is requesting rear variance to allow a 14-foot north side setback where 15 feet is required, associated with an 18 by 36-foot family room and covered porch addition to an existing single-family residence on a .60 acre parcel, giving SBL number 065.10-1-10, located in an R3 single-family residential district under section 225-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening. If you could state your name and address, and then describe your project.
My name's Chris Bartola. I live at 583 Webster Road, and I've been living there since 1996.
My name is Jay Taylor, general contractor for this project.
Okay. We'll just need you to describe your project and the reason for your variance request.
Basically, we want to maintain the current line with an existing structure there, which consists of a garage, and both for aesthetic purposes, but also for function and usable space that is outlined in the blueprint for the addition. We have a bathroom in there, and the dimensional spacing for both all the various fixtures, the door and everything, kind of lock us in. The other side of the structure is currently a walkway between the garage and the house, and that will become a hallway to connect the current house with the new family room. So pushing the structure to the south is kind of prohibited by that, and would close off our access to this addition. So I don't know how much more clarification you would want. If you have any specific questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them.
So you're requesting 14 feet, where 15 feet is required. The existing garage is set at 14 feet. So there's a bit of cleanup on that front, right? But we'll address that along with this request. So there's a 1 foot differential. Explain to me, you said you considered moving it back to the south, but it's just not feasible because of the flow, the pattern that you would like from
Because of what? Sorry, I have a hearing impairment.
from the flow into the new space.
Yes, because in the existing structure up to the roof line of the garage and on the house, it's a block structure, so it's not simply a matter of inserting a header and opening or moving something versus typical framed construction. So we're prohibited by making adjustments on the existing house without the potential of bringing in engineers, and that's already bedrooms, functioning bedrooms. So diminishing the size of those bedrooms would no longer meet codes for sizes and such.
Okay.
It's the logical placement.
There's no effective change. It's already at 14 feet. They're just extending that facade.
And this was built in 1950, it was probably a tape location there. And in those days, close enough was good enough, not anymore. So, there's no detriment.
Josh, there's no existing variance on the existing garage?
No, not here.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay. This meeting is open to anyone wishing to speak for or against this application. Okay, seeing no one, will return the discussion back to the board. Go through seeker pursuant to 6 NYCR section 617 of the environmental code. I'll make a motion for type 2 seeker.
Second.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay. Anyone want to touch on the standards?
I'll go through these standards. That house has been there for 70 years without any detriment to any properties, built 1950. And I got a little background, his grandpa built the house, so he wants to stay in that house. And we've got a tie there with the family tie. The request really isn't out of character with the neighborhood. Matter of fact, we have one letter from the neighbor directly to the north who is actually in favor of this addition. We could get that via to our commission. There's no detriment created to nearby properties. As the applicant stated, that's the best place for that addition because there's bedrooms on the rear of the house. If you move the addition over and replace the bedrooms, you might block the bedroom window. You don't have good access to the addition and so on, so that's a logical place for the addition. The request is not substantial. It's only 1 foot and 15 feet. As I said, the house has been there for 7 years with no negative consequences. Difficulty is not really self-created. The gentleman wants to improve his house, and that 14-foot setback has been there already. Not an undesirable change, and I think it's going to be a beautiful addition to the house and make the house more livable for the applicant. And as I said, 1 foot is not a significant request. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to grant an area variance to a house located 583 Webster Road by Christopher Bartola to allow a 14-foot north setback where 15 feet is required, associated with 18 by 36-foot family room and covered porch addition. The existing single-family residence on a .6 acre parcel having SBL number 0665.10-1-10, located in an R3 single-family district under section 225-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
The only thing that I'd add is that would include the existing garage, pre-existing condition at 14 foot, and that total facade length is 36 foot plus 23 foot 6 inches, I believe, or a total of 59 feet 6 inches.
That's good.
I didn't hear what you said, sir.
We were just cleaning up the existing garage, so
Oh, okay.
that doesn't meet the setback requirement.
The existing garage is included in the variance. The existing garage would be included in the variance, is what Mr. Newtown
The
said.
existing garage, I'm sorry, I'm not
The
hearing.
existing garage.
The existing garage doesn't comply, so we're including that, so that now is legal, the variance.
Is good.
It's to your benefit,
Yes.
it's to your benefit. His hearing is as bad as mine. It's my hearing is bad.
No.
Mr. Barone,
Aye.
Mrs. Bolo,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Newtown.
Aye. Okay, you've got your variance, it's been approved. A couple conditions apply. You must obtain all necessary governmental permits, including a town building permit, which you'll be able to seek now that you've obtained your variance. And 1 year meaningful construction is set to expire 1 year from this evening. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was the only scheduled item on the agenda this evening. If the representative from the sign at Muncie's would like to step up to the podium, if you could just state your name and address again and provide us an update.
Good evening, Steve Stanley from Vital Signs, here to report on the request to explore the monuments, request to explore the possibility of changing out the existing sign to what I believe the board referred to as a more code compliant sign the last time we were here.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, the request was not to change out the sign. The request was, is it feasible to modify the existing sign to bring that top section down and mount it to the side?
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're clear. We didn't specifically ask for a new monument sign to be installed. We suggested a modification to the existing.
Then I definitely did misunderstand that.
Okay.
Um,
We felt that it seemed like a pretty feasible option to literally remove that steel frame structure on top, reduce the overall height, and remount that to the side to bring it further into compliance. That was the discussion.
It's definitely more feasible than a new monument.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I pull?
I want to make sure the rest of the board was on the same
No,
page.
you're definitely right.
Okay.
We never asked for you to install a new monument sign. We felt with the change out of the panels, that it should be a pretty simple task to modify it.
Well, it would, like I said, it would be much more simpler. But that sign that is on top, without being able to see how the weld is, that could be a little bit of a challenge depending on how that sign was welded. Depending on if it was two plates that are welded on top or if they're screwed on top, removing that could be some work. It would require some crane trucks to get up there and make sure we have enough power to hold up the Tony Tomato sign. Now, your request or your idea would be to place that existing sign to the side of the structure, not below, correct?
I don't think we really cared. We just felt that it was, the height is excessive. I don't know what the total height, it's gotta be 10 feet
Okay.
or more. And code is 6 foot for a monument sign. So the alteration just seemed appropriate
Okay.
without, requiring the applicant at the time to install a complete new monument sign.
Can you speak to how long that sign has been existing the way that it is? Do you have any ideas or any record of that?
It's,
I guess I'd ask Josh, was there ever a permit for the Tony Tomato sign in it?
Yes, there was.
Okay. So if there was a permit that was granted for the Tony Tomato sign, the conversation that I had with Dave from Bunson's is that even though it was wrong, because I was addressing a new monument, so that was completely off basis. But Dave felt that it was that the opportunity to have to spend money to modify the sign just to change out the panel in a sign that's already been approved previously, has permits that have been granted previously, would be an economic hardship that he doesn't feel would be fair to him at this time. I agree with that, and that was, again, that was a conversation for the monument. Although the dollars that it would cost to modify the sign in the way that you're speaking would probably be far greater, would be far greater than the monument, still might seem a little unfair to put that economic burden on the tenant in the space.
Once
that
again,
has-
I want to be very clear, we did not request that the tenant address this issue. We had requested that it go back to the landlord to see if the landlord would be willing to entertain that. And I think we did a lot of this on good faith, that we provided the applicant a second facade sign in addition to the monument sign to investigate this. And so far, the investigation has proven inadequate because it wasn't conveyed to the tenant or to the landlord what our request was.
And that's
So I would suggest that we come back in 1 month and revisit this. Once again, in good faith for this applicant to have a second sign, we had requested that they investigate this. Meaning, it would be a good idea to put that into compliance. We'll leave it at that. We'll have another report back in 1 month from today, which is April 12th, I believe. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And please convey that message to the tenant and the landlord. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the report out. That concludes this evening's meeting. Thank you for watching. And at this time, we will address the meeting minutes.
I have with the minutes for the January 25th meeting, 2022, and have a motion to approve them.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have February 8th. Just check the dates. Yes, we're
Very
The,
good.
may I have a motion for February 8th minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Second, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. February 8th and January 25th.
Good. Thank you. Definitely one item for next,
Yes.
hey, thanks,
Good
John.
night.
Dick.